contrarian, badass Reggie Middleton. He called the housing crash, he called the collapse of Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers, and the crisis in the Eurozone banking system. Reggie Middleton.
Hello everybody, it's been a minute since I did a video, but I am going to do one. This one is going to be, and notice, during the time I've been gone, FTX imploded, and all the counterparty contagion risk became apparent. I already warned of this, and luckily you didn't have to hear me spout ad nauseum about it, but I will start now. This is not going to be about FTX, this is going to be about Coinbase. To begin with, I have respect for Coinbase as a company. I have respect for the CEO. Proud of what they accomplished. But I think they have a unsustainable business model. And Brian Armstrong seems like a stand-up guy, but he has said things that I find to be untruthful. He harps on transparency, saying we're a public company, we have higher reporting standards, which is true. But there's a lot of gray area there. For instance, he has not disclosed the patent infringement lawsuit. And the dog starts to bark as soon as I make this video. Right? He has not disclosed the patent infringement lawsuit that Veritaseum Capital has brought against them, with a nominal amount on the face at $350 million, but potentially much, much more than that. Veritasium Capital alleges that their patents and inventions cover over 90% of Coinbase's revenue. Anywhere near that should be something that all stakeholders would want to know. If a court of law finds that the actual patent is infringed by Coinbase, we have the right to exclude, which means we could simply say we won't grant a license and then ask the court to prevent Coinbase from using the actual invention, which is basically all the crypto that they're using, essentially. You know, give or take, there are a few things that I covered. The vast majority are, according to Veritaseum Capital. Okay? Number two, their margins will go down if we allow them to practice the invention, because we'll charge them for it. Their margins are unsustainable because they only do well when the price of crypto goes up. When the price of crypto goes down, they do very badly. That's not it. Brian Armstrong took to Twitter, and again, I have to give him credit. As a CEO, you go and you attempt to dispel FUD. More power to you, I'm 100% behind that. But you can't really dispel FUD with untruths, or you can't do it, I don't want to say ethically, because I think he's an ethical guy from what I know, but you can't do it accurately. I'll post a graphic in the corner right here to remind me to put it there. He said that we don't leverage customer funds without their permission. I don't find that to be true. Quick, walk you through this quickly. Coinbase who's also engaged in a patent infringement suit, a big one, the biggest one of their history that I know of, and I think it's the first one in the crypto industry. Coinbase is a partner to Circle Internet Financial, in the production and issuance of USDC, US dollar coin. Coinbase urges and pushes their customers to use US dollar coin. If you redeem in dollars, they charge a fee. You redeem in USDC, it's for free. They carry USDC on their balance sheet as a dollar equivalent, which in my opinion it's not, because USDC has significant counterparty and credit risk, operational risk, etc. that dollars don't have. And more importantly, USDC is used for rehypothecation by Coinbase. What does rehypothecation, my children are helping me with this on Thanksgiving. What is rehypothecation, man? You gotta say verbally because the camera can't hear. Okay, so my 6-year-old daughter doesn't know, but she will after this video. Messiah, the financial guru. What is rehypothecation? Speak loudly because the mic is on my side.
You pledge the same collateral for 2 different loans.
2 or more loans. Okay, so we're gonna walk through USDC right now, how it's created.
Wait, guys, come on.
this is a very token, but let's say this is a US dollar coin token. This represents 100 USDC. I will pay 100 US dollars for 100 USDC. Okay? That is Circle and Coinbase, the issue of USDC. My daughter, here is 100 US dollars that I will send to you, and I would like USDC tokens back in return. You won't give it to me. Thank you. I'm down 100 US dollars, I'm up 100 USDC. My daughter is in business of issuing this USDC. Okay? She's had a going concern warning from her auditors, which means that her auditors are saying you have a great risk of going out of business. She gets $400 something million of investment from BlackRock, etc. That helped her out, and then she took an operating loss of more than that by the end of the year. A risky business. That's Circle, but still in business. When I take this USDC, this is an IOU to get my $100 back sometime in the future when I ask for it. I don't get any interest at all, or any yield, or any return on this. All I get is the risk of doing business with Mariama and the risk of whatever she invests in. Whatever she invests in, the difference between that total amount, what she invests in, the yield, return, etc., and what I gave her, is what they give for a profit. Okay? That's how Mariama makes money, by investing in $100 that I gave her, right, to make a yield, loans, commercial paper, treasury bonds, etc. And she keeps that difference, and she gives me the $100 back when I ask for it. So, as it is right now, this is called return-free risk. I'm taking risk, like she almost just lost $100 just now, the wind blew. That's exactly what I mean by Circle. I'm taking material risk with Mariama, and I'm getting nothing in return. So those who went to business school understand the concept of risk-free return. A mythical concept where you get return without taking risk, that's nonsense. Risk is the cost of return. So the only way to get a return is to take a risk. The risk-free return is the yield on treasury bills, etc., because allegedly the US won't default. Not true, everybody can default, but the US is the global reserve currency, so they can always print more money. So a technical default is difficult. Mariama, oops, my daughter, give her name, as Circle, can't print money. Or at least they can't print US dollars. So, significant risk. Return-free risk. I now take this and I go to MakerDAO and I trade my USDC for Ethereum and MakerDAO. Yes. Right here. Yes. I traded for Ethereum, I traded for DAI tokens, I traded for a whole bunch of things through MakerDAO. Okay? MakerDAO now takes a lot of these USDC, $1.6 billion of them they have accumulated in their reserve. But they're not making money on it. Why? Because they're not taking investment risk. But they're not happy with not taking investment risk because they're not getting a return. So what does MakerDAO do? They ask for a vote amongst their constituents, the buyers of their governance tokens, and the buyers of the governance tokens get to govern MakerDAO by voting. Guess who some of the biggest owners of the governance tokens are in MakerDAO? Coinbase, and Coinbase's investors are the venture capital funds. So Coinbase comes up with a very good idea. Hey, I will invest these USDC for you, and I will give you a portion of the return. I will take a risk, and I will compensate you in part for that risk. So now it won't be return-free risk, it'll be minimum return risk, up to 1.5%. Now, realize if you invested in the risk-free return assets of the US government, you get 2 and 3%. Coinbase is saying, take much more risk with us, and we'll give you half the return. So not quite return-free risk, minimum return risk. So Coinbase takes 1.6 billion of these, puts it into their investment pool, they take their risks and make an investment by loaning USDC out to those who want USDC, and when they pay it back with a yield or with an interest rate, Coinbase takes some of that interest rate and gives it to MakerDAO. What did Coinbase just do? Messiah, they are. In taking the USDC from MakerDAO and loaning it out to others, what did they just do? Tell me.
They Rehypothecate.
They rehypothecated because the original $100 that paid for the USDC is still the original $100. That's the investment capital that the consortium, consisting of Coinbase and Circle, took in. They lent it out once for $1 USDC, or 1.6 billion USDC, and then they took the 1.6 billion USDC and they lent it out again for yield. But there's only one $1.6 billion pot. So essentially, they're lending $3.2 billion out with only $1.6 billion of collateral. It's a pretty good game. Hey, I want to go buy a new Mercedes-Benz. It cost me $130,000. Real high, top of the line, right? High end. I'm going to get 100% loan on it. So I'm going to borrow $130,000 and get my Mercedes-Benz. And I'm going to drive it around. I'm like, wait a minute. I would like some more money. So I go get another loan on my Mercedes-Benz for another $130,000. Now I have $260,000 of loans on my $130,000 Mercedes-Benz, which I'm driving and depreciating. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, this car's pretty fast. Let's see how fast it is. I stomp the pedal, bam! I crash it. I total it. And then the initial lender that lent me the money says, well, I want my money back. But it's totaled. The collateral was gone, but I go to the insurance company and I get paid for it. But guess what? The second group that lent me the money, guess what they want? What do you think they want?
Car.
The car is gone. They want their money back. So even if I didn't crash it, would the second group get their money back?
No.
Under any circumstances, somebody's going to be out of all of their money. Either the first group or the second group or a combination of the two. Because you can only return $100 out of $100. They took $100 of collateral and made $200 of loans. That is leveraging their customers' assets. If you go through the USDC terms and conditions, right, the user agreement, you will not see any permission for rehypothecation or for taking two loans out on the same amount of collateral. Hence, from my meager and humble understandings, Brian Armstrong was not truthful when he said we do not leverage our customers' assets without their permission. Again, I have respect for Brian Armstrong. He seems like a fairly standard guy, but he's a businessman, so I understand there's some aggression in there. You have to be to succeed. And regardless, two things he did not do. Did not disclose to stakeholders that he has a very serious, in my opinion, patent infringement suit that could potentially shut him down or materially reduce margins. And he also said he doesn't lend out client assets or leverage client assets without their permission. So he might have asked permission for the USDC holders on the second loan. He didn't ask for it on the first loan. I welcome any and all comments from Mr. Armstrong himself and anybody else, because they're not the only entity that does this, but they are the only entity that helps Circle administer and produce the USDC. Okay, I suggest everybody go to BoomBustBlog and look at the 114-page forensic analysis, the quarterly update. There's another quarterly update out that we didn't get out, and take a look at that lawsuit as well. They filed a motion to dismiss Coinbase, their attorneys. They have actually, to show you how interesting this is, they've beefed up their internal legal department. They have an IP specialist that specializes in intellectual property and patent portfolio building. She's the best in the country, apparently or allegedly. And despite beefing this up, after getting served the lawsuit, they still went to outside counsel and hired two very large firms. Those firms sent in a motion to dismiss, as was expected. And the reply to that motion to dismiss will be forthcoming. Give it a read. Okay, I think that Coinbase stakeholders, their shareholders, their customers, and their clients really would like to be disclosed this and notified. I know I would. Peace.